Here's a cool suspension part that some of you guys might not know about, and no one really talks about it because it's not super sexy and it's not going to get you crazy amounts of video views. So check this out. I got this from my friends at Swift Springs. This is the little instruction sheet, obviously Japanese because Swift Springs from Japan. And it's these guys right here. These guys are little shims that go in between, say, your perch and your spring. So let me show you on this setup right here. So typically you would have your helper spring, could be at the bottom, could be at the top, regardless of what setup you have. These things are still super useful. So it's these little washers right here. All right, so typically you wouldn't have these washers and you would go direct with your collar to the helper spring to the actual spring itself, which isn't too bad. It'll work, no problem. But in certain applications like my Porsche, where the front actually turns, the spring will actually rotate against the top of the chassis when I turn the steering wheel. Sometimes the corners right here will catch the corners, or this material right here, and then it'll load up because it's stuck. The bottom's stuck, but then the top is spinning, and then when it gets to the point where it just releases tension, it pops. It goes boom, which I've noticed before on my Porsche. I was like, what the heck is that? Because I added a new coilover, and Leonard at Swift Springs was like, oh, I know what that is. You just need to put these guys right here so you won't have that tension. It doesn't catch. All right, so I put these on pretty much everything that has a coilover or collar assembly like this. That way it's just, it's just extra insurance that this thing will just move around super easy and there's no tension. I put one at the top and I also put one at the bottom. Regardless of what car you have, you can use these guys. So one on the bottom right there. Anywhere that's got metal to metal or metal to whatever this is, could be aluminum, could be plastic, but you can still use it. See that? So that's how I would do it. And then I would put another one on the bottom right here before it rests on the collar on your coilover. All right. And then pop this guy on. All right. And then put another one up top right here. That's actually what this guy's for. This is just, I think, ABS or Delrin or whatever. But there it is. See, the thinner one goes around the spring, and then the top one is on top of the other one. Let me show you on my actual car how I did it. Now, the setup is super optional. This isn't like necessary for Hondas, but as you can see, I got one right there, and then the spring, and then the collar right there, another one, and then spring, and then another one right there to this area right here. Now, technically, by Swift Springs instruction, I'm supposed to have the metal shim and then the plastic shim under, but I usually just run the metal shim. It just doesn't cause me any issues, and that's how it's done. I got one up here too before it hits the top collar, which is super hard to see, but it's on there. Like, again, it's not a super sexy part, but it's a part that I feel like people should add to the coilover assembly just to free up a little bit of tension and rubbing and all that jazz.